find it wholesome to be alone the greater part of the time. To be in company, even with the best, is soon wearisome and dissipating. I love to be alone. I never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude. Henry David Thoreau. He who is unable to live in society, or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself, must be either a beast or a god. Aristotle. The primary distinction of the artist is that he must actively cultivate that state which most men necessarily must avoid, the state of being alone. James Baldwin. Almost every great mind and creative soul throughout time has spoken the praise of solitude. An artist cannot create within the confines of society. That is why, when inspiration strikes, every great artist locks themselves away. So why is it that here and now, in our current state of living, the most separated and isolated from one another that society has been, since arguably the beginning of societies, why is it that the least amount of films have been produced in this time, the least amount of great songs written, the least amount of art is being created? Shouldn't the state of solitude bring out the best in every artist? Should we not be flooded with creative works? Why does it feel as if this new way of life has resulted in a worldwide creative block? As an artist myself, I've been struggling with this question for almost a year now. Why is it that in this state of solitude, my craft is suffering, not flourishing? I believe the answer to this comes with finding that thin line between solitude and isolation. I've felt the bliss of solitude many times in my life. I've sat alone atop a mountain and watched the sun fall into the earth. I've walked the beaches and felt the ocean grabbing at my toes. I have felt what it is like to have solitude pull the art from within you before you even know what it is you are creating. Yes, I've experienced the bliss of solitude. But I've also felt the anguish of isolation. I've felt it creep under my skin and hold me to the earth with its weight. I've looked in the mirror and watched it drain the energy from my eyes one tear at a time. I've felt it turn my soul cold. Do not be fooled, my friends. Isolation and solitude are not the same. After solitude has stripped the inspiration from within you and displayed it upon your canvas, that is when solitude no longer serves you. See, solitude only works when there's inspiration within you for it to create with, and the source of all the world's inspiration comes from new experiences. We are not gods. We cannot create from nothing. We are simply a collection of the stories we have lived, and when we stop living, stop really living, there is no new material for solitude to pull from. That is when isolation seeps in to fill the void where story once lived but is now existing in your work. Every artist leaves a piece of themselves in their work. That is what makes it art. That is the gift every artist shares, no matter their craft. The sacrifice that comes with this is that it leaves us vulnerable to isolation. Many of the greatest artists to exist have been accused of being sick in the head in one way or another. We've all heard the trope of the mad artist. But I do not believe this to be true. I believe these men and women simply allowed their states of solitude, the only condition artists can work under, to turn to isolation, the plague every artist fears. You see, an artist's work is never done. We must keep constantly fueling our spirit and giving it to our work. Once your work has been lifted from within and left on the canvas, that is when it's time to start gathering the materials for your next piece. Because the life of an artist is one great, big, beautiful work in itself, fueled by human experience and crafted by solitude.